we reach a point where we are just tired of the suffering. And when you reach that point, it's actually a really good point to reach, because that's when you'll just choose and decide to say no more. That's it. Life will come around and test you, but that's okay, because every moment is your opportunity to awaken, to just choose to be conscious. And who chooses? It's that spirit within you, the consciousness that is evolving, that is coming through. Your form. It's like a caterpillar evolving into a butterfly. So whether our forms change in this lifetime or some other generations forward, we don't know. It's the evolution of human consciousness. But our minds want to know. Our minds want the answer right now. And when it doesn't have an answer, oftentimes it becomes afraid. So spirituality, when you're in spirit, it's the formless dimension. It's the dimension of the unknown. And perhaps some of you are afraid of the unknown. But you cannot really be afraid of the unknown. The mind becomes afraid of what it thinks the unknown is. It's just the mind. Imagine yourselves right now standing on that cliff. Can you imagine yourself stepping off that cliff? You don't know what's going to be below you. You don't know what's going to happen. That's what it's like to live in the unknown, to live through spirit rather than through the conditioned mind. Because the conditioned mind can imagine all sorts of things. But when you live fully in the present moment, you have no idea what's going to happen. You didn't know I was going to do that. Ow. But you'd be fully alert. Can you step off that cliff? Now, don't worry if you can't, because I've been on that cliff many times, and it's like, and even in my dreams, standing on the cliff, and I'm like, no, not ready. And then I wake up and I remember the dream, and I'm like, damn, I didn't step off that cliff. Don't worry, you're going to have lots of opportunities. And in every moment is an opportunity to step off that cliff. And we all blossom, evolve in our own time. And it's not even our own time. Some of us are buds. Some of us are a little bit more open in a flower. If you imagine a flower. Some of us may be fully bloomed. However, the evolution of human consciousness, what is fully bloomed? But if you're a bud and you see somebody else who's more open, their flower is more open, and this is what the mind, if the flower had a mind, the mind will do, okay, oh, but I want to be awakened now. I got to be awakened now. I got to be bloomed. I want to bloom now. Why can't I be more open? And that's what the mind will do. Can the flower open more because it says, I want to open more? So even though it appears like we have a choice, consciousness, the consciousness that is within you, has its own time. And when we surrender to that time, to its own pace, then we can live fully in this moment and accept this moment as it is. Even if there's a pain body attack, we can accept it as it is. When we accept it as it is, something within that pain body attack, the grip just loosens. Become detached, unattached from that pain body. And the awareness that we are, that's who I am. But yet I have this pain body, or I have this conditioning of, I don't trust people. Where did that come from? Okay, I know where it came from. So it seems like as if there's a separation, a gap in that. This is the awareness. This is the conditioned self. And yet both happen in this moment. When we lose sight of our awareness, we think we're only the conditioned entity. So it's the continual practice of coming home into yourself, into the awareness that you are, to find that space within you, to turn your attention around on awareness itself. And then, okay, freedom. There's a sense of freedom, a sense of peace. And it's wonderful. Life is good. Challenging, but good. What's there to do? Except for when things need to be done. Oh, it's time to go to work. Oh, it's time to look after the children. There's another thing that I invite you to do here. I did this many years ago. I don't know, it was probably in my early 30s. I went to the Esalen Institute, the retreat center, went away there for a whole month. And I did the work study program. And back then, you had to write out why you wanted to do the work study program. So I wrote down, I'd like to experience myself. I don't want to tell anybody that I am a mother. I don't want to tell anybody what work I do. I don't want to mention anything. I want to just experience myself. So this is what I invite you to do, is to let go of the roles, because those are roles. A mother is a role. Your work is a role. Even sometimes your relationships can be a role. husband does certain things, the wife does certain things, etc. So let go of the roles and just experience yourself here. So people would ask, because it's a common question, oh, what do you do for a living? I'm not talking about that. Because, and I would tell them that I wanted just to experience myself with no roles, no labels on me. And they went, oh, that's really interesting. Soon enough, almost everybody in the program was doing it. And it's interesting to see how the conditioned mind works too, because we are socialized to ask those kind of questions. You meet somebody, it's kind of common. Oh, are you married? Do you have any children? What do you do for a living? Right? And then you get into that mindset of labels and your roles instead of fully experiencing who you are and experiencing the other person. It was amazing to see what kind of experience I had with somebody when we didn't have to talk about those little things, the common things. Our conversations became deeper. And you kind of experience that a little bit in your small groups. You journal and you write the questions that were asked, and then you share that. It's a deeper conversation. And maybe you'll even experience no talking at all, and that's okay. Just to be with somebody, sitting with them, and just experience that. Notice whether or not you become uncomfortable. Oh, this is really odd. I'm at a table and I'm not talking. Nobody's talking to each other. See how that feels for you. And all these little things we begin to gradually change and get used to. Used to being in silence. What does silence really mean? Not just the silence of no sounds around you, no words, but the deeper silence that is within, the alive silence, where you don't mind that nothing is happening outside of you. Where you reach that point, there's this famous English writer at a cocktail party. And somebody came up to him and said, "Are you enjoying yourself here?" And the writer says, "It's the only thing I'm enjoying here." So that's where we're reaching to. So where you have the joy of being just in yourself. So it doesn't matter what's happening around you. You're not being entertained outside of you. Because that addiction even to entertainment can be there. Something outside of you to make you happy. And that's a false belief. It can make you temporarily kind of joyful. It might bring some laughter, or you have a good time and it feels really good. But then we get attached to wanting something where we only want to experience good times. And that doesn't exist. In fact, when you want to only experience good times, you will most likely experience more bad times because this is the world of duality. In order to know good times, you have to know bad times. So you'll experience bad times. So you get to that point of, it's the only thing I'm enjoying here, no matter what the form looks like, the outer form looks like.